All right, everybody. A little update on what's going on with the weather. We've had our first tornado touchdown, maybe our second in North Carolina. This cell over Franklin, North Carolina, moving to the east towards, excuse me, Glenville, Folsom, Brevard, eventually Hendersonville, produced a tornado in the town of Murphy. Back to the west, we're getting reports of damage and possibly people trapped in buildings in Murphy. There's another tornadic cell moving into the southwestern part of the state. These are riding to the southeast. We currently got a severe thunderstorm warning in effect for Avery and parts of Burke County because of that cell. We'll have to keep a close eye on that one. And then we've got a confirmed tornado on the north side of Atlanta, near Marietta, another one near Rome. These are all the ones we have to watch because even though the atmosphere is somewhat stable from Hickory to Greensboro, when I start looking at the dew points, there's an interesting feature popping up on the dew points. This is the dew point map. You see the blues, it's very dry air. There's a pocket of dry air to the north of Charlotte, but notice this little boundary where the dew points go from very dry to very moist. If these storms should ride this boundary, you will end up with increased wind shear and the possibility the storms could hold together. They actually could begin to turn to the right a little bit as they ride along this boundary. So right now the biggest threat for tornadoes is going to be along the North and South Carolina border from Charlotte west. So this area right in here, we have to keep an eye on because these cells that are developing here now in southwestern North Carolina, northern Georgia, and the upstate of South Carolina have a very high likelihood that they could hold together. Now, they could still weaken. I'm still somewhat optimistic that's going to happen, but we got to keep an eye on these cells as they move to the east because the potential is these could hold together. And if these are the storms that hold together, then they will impact the Charlotte area in about 2 hours, maybe less. So we're talking maybe around 11 o'clock, 11:30ish around Charlotte. And then these storms to the north, there's also tornado warnings up here near the Virginia-North Carolina border, which are moving to the east. So the time frame is about the same, 11 o'clock to midnight, maybe 1 o'clock, depending on the backside of this storm. Got to keep an eye on all of these. Let me show you what it looks like on the radar out of Greenville-Spartanburg. We'll go in real close to these two. You can see the touchdown in Murphy. Let me turn the lightning off here because the lightning's a little overwhelming. But when you look right here, we got a nice hook or appendage near Franklin. Likely tornado right there. Obviously some spin in the atmosphere. Storm relative. Yeah, there's definitely rotation still. That's still producing a tornado. And if you look at the track of that, it's got that in an hour, it should be over Hendersonville. And then an hour from that, it's going to be in Shelby, Gaston, Lincoln County, if it holds together. And then on the backside, we've got another storm with rotation, and then another one down here. So that should give you a good indication on what these storms are doing. There is a little bit of rotation up here with this storm heading into Avery County and northern Burke County and Caldwell County. Got to keep a close eye. I don't like the looks of that one. I'm hoping it's going to weaken as it pushes east into this more stable air mass. We may get a warning with that one pretty soon. So we'll have to keep an eye on both of those for the next 30 minutes or so. So be prepared. If you live in Charlotte, stay up till about midnight to 1 o'clock if you can because that's when the severe weather is going to be moving through. I'll try to keep things up to date online and on Facebook. And of course, we'll break in, if we have to, on air if we see warnings, which I think are just inevitable now. We will see them very soon.